We had a tough ball game yesterday that just hammered home one of the real lessons in our program it's all about the ball. And we know we're on it so diligently that when you give the ball up a couple times and it's hard to win, you give up a couple scores, it's really difficult to figure out a way. You got to match them back up and neutralize them, and we weren't able to do that. And so as you look at this game, you think it's all about the ball that they got and their turnovers. We didn't get any. And a week ago we get 4. This week we get nothing, and it makes a huge difference, obviously, in the outcome. And the rest of this game was a really good, hard-fought game. Both sides battling, just slugging it out, kind of like we wanted to do, and we thought it could go like that, and would be a game that might be a last possession type of game. And we had a chance to make it that way, at least that way, had we taken care of the football better. So the lessons couldn't be more obvious, and we couldn't be more clear about what we needed to do to change it. And so we're going right back to work. We're not going to spend any time on this game any more than we would otherwise. But I want to do a good job of putting it behind us and getting going. We got to go to Atlanta and finish up this first half of the season in best fashion that we can. So that's what we'll do.
When the offense does give it up like that, does that put any pressure on the defense to, like you said, kind of match it? You know what I
mean? Like the pressure's always on the defense to get the ball. But we do know well enough that you have to find a way to match it up. I thought what was impressive about it, and if anybody was wondering how that would affect, our offense or affect the quarterback, and we came right back with a really good drive and answered, went down the field and tied the game back up. And I think. So that's one statement of it. How did it affect you? And we weren't rattled by it at all, and we went back to business. But we know, the deep seated, we know we got to get the football to match that turnover, and so we were after it. We were trying.
What are you not saying out of your pass rush?
Really, I think it's mostly the results, just the sack part of it. Getting the sacks. That number is. It isn't going in the right direction. But the passing game wasn't, there was 2 plays in the passing game, and the rest of it was really well done by our guys making plays and disrupting. We pressured a number of times and got good disruption out of it. We found our way into chasing the quarterback when we pressured. Okay, we got him out of the pocket. We broke him down and knocked him off the spot, but that wasn't the best thing that can happen. But you needed to do it. You got to go after him and change the rhythm. Again, I think this is something that you guys are going to worry about a lot more than I am. I really would love to get more sacks. We'd love to have more hits on the quarterback. Whenever, because that gives us the ball for the most part. But we're just going to keep battling away. I think now, if we're going to get better, it's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. I think the fact that Jay Reed's back out there should make a difference, and he played real hard and came out of the game healthy and all that. And being his first game this, in a month and a half, he'll get better and help us.
What did you see out of him? He played a ton of snaps for guys been out.
He played fine. He played good, hard football. He had a couple plays that he would like back, but other than that, he played tough and he felt good coming out and felt good in the game conditioning-wise and came out fine. So that's a big positive, because you could see that could be, it could have had a big impact on him if he wasn't ready. But he did a fantastic job of getting prepared so that he could go for it when he returned. I'm really pleased with that.
Did you evaluate the play of your 2 young safeties?
Well, we made a big mistake early, and gave him a freebie down the field. It's just distasteful, and I hate that we gave him that, because there was no way that should ever happen. But other than that, I thought Marquise did a really good job. I thought he was active, physical, covered well. Made a couple of things happen that were real positive, and avoided a couple other things that were on mistakes that he made. That guy's covered for him pretty well, and that helped us. But I liked his play. It really was kind of like what we'd expect, and he showed up immediately as we saw in the first kickoff too, where he had a couple plays in the kicking game that really kind of knocked him down a notch a few weeks back. He jumped right back in and was a special factor. So he helped himself. He's going to play some more.
Him starting it?
He's going to play some more. Let me say it that way right now. I'm fired up about him.
With Lano, did you say it's going to be a couple weeks before you know what's going on there?
Yeah. He won't be able to get back this week.
And how's Bradley?
He's a little bit better, but he's not. He didn't just pop out of it yet. You know, he didn't come back today and he's ready to go. So we'll take it all the way through the week and see what happens. He obviously he's got a little issue, you know, and that's keeping him kind of in the spasm mode. And he's not been able to shake it yet. So we're working on him, and we'll see what happens, and we'll go day to day.
Is there anything structurally beyond spasms that's...
Well, there's always something that causes it, you know, and our guys know what's going on, and they just got to try to take care of him.
Yesterday, the pass rush was containment more than it was about sacks.
Yes, we were trying to. Yeah, we tried to compress the pocket a number of times. That was a big part of the plan. So, whereas you think, you know, trying to sack the guy was the issue, it wasn't. It was trying to keep him from getting the freedom and the spacing that he likes to take. And even when you do that, you could see we still had trouble containing him, just because he's not a containable guy. If he wants to get out, he's going to get out. But we wanted to close down the passing lanes for him and just make it hard. For the most part, the passing game was not a big issue. Again, there was two huge plays that got us, but other than that, it was really him running around. That is the big part of their passing game, him scrambling.
Shot, I think it was just one or two. Was that like part of the
No,
plan?
it wasn't part of the plan. It just didn't work out. And, I wish he had played more. It just didn't happen.
What did Baltimore change defensively in the second half that made those first couple of drives for you guys more of a struggle than what you had?
Well, I didn't see them change much. They were mixing so many calls throughout the first half. I think they just kept rolling the dice, and as they do, they play a lot of stuff, and they keep just bringing from different edges and different manners. That they just kept doing it, What happened in the second half is the first half we really possessed the football. In the second half they did, and we didn't get off the field like we wanted to. We had terrific drives in the first, really the first 5 drives. There 3 of them we scored on. We had a lot of plays, and half of our drives were over 8 or 9 plays in the drives, because we were converting on third down, and it gave us a chance to keep the football. They did a little better on third down in the second half, and they made a couple more plays, and they possessed the ball a little bit better than they did. And so the halves kind of flipped in terms of time of possession.
The times that it seemed like he had to bounce a lot there. Was there something Baltimore was doing to kind of compress the interior?
The 2 big guys inside did a nice job on a couple plays, and really we're critiquing Chris, instead of heading for the hills out here, he needs to stuff it and just get us 2 or 3 yards inside, and we'll go to the next play a couple times. So there's a couple situational runs too that we talked to him about. He has a lot of success putting the ball in the perimeter. He's good at it, and so he looked for a couple ways out that we like to. We'll take what we can get and stuff it up in there, and then go to the next play. More so.
How have Luke and Jacob been as blockers?
Well, Luke is is playing the wide position for us. Jake is moving around a little bit more. Luke has always been a solid blocker. It's not been his sole strength. He's been a runner and a catcher and all that, but he's working hard at it. But we are missing George playing there. That's something that we're missing right now, and regardless of whoever else we've had with Will and the guys we've had in the past, nobody blocks like George, and so that's a factor we hope we can get back to soon.
What is the plan for Dwayne this week?
It's a day at a time now. He's closer, obviously after a couple weeks sitting out. He wants to get something done on Wednesday. We'll find out if he can, and so he's determined to try to make it back. I don't know if that's going to work out or not. Fluke will be back and ready to go. Fluke just barely made it back for the game. He was available to us. I think he was only in on a couple snaps of kicking game and on field goal protection, but he will be ready to compete this week for playing time.
What did you see from Trey? He had the big hit on third down.
He played really good ball. He had a couple other plays in the game. He did a nice job. He's taken a technical step forward here in the last few weeks with his game, and I'm fired up for him. His confidence is up. He's more aggressive. His technique is really the best it's been all year, and he can feel it coming. So we got a good play out of him, a couple really nice plays.
That first interception for a guy kind of help him out.
Sure. Sure. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it can give you a little boost and get you going a little bit, without question.
Can you clarify the conversations around the 4th and 3 decision to have Jason attempt the the field goal. Is
Yeah,
that
I want
like
to go
a-
ahead. You know, it's in his range. We knew where we were on the field and all that. He was comfortable with kicking from there, and it was a long field goal, but you know, it was a chance to go ahead. And again, when they hadn't done a whole lot on offense, and we're feeling fine about playing defense on those guys, and 3 points would have been a big deal in this game without the big turnovers. So that was part of it. And I'm thinking he's going to make it. He's good. He's a good kicker, and the ball got pushed. But that's it. The other thought was, I had the thought about punting them deep and putting them in the hole because of the defensive nature of the game. But with the chance to go ahead right there, and we were exactly where we're supposed to be in range, so we went for it.
And why is not going for that conversion with the offense a consideration?
It's 4th and 3. There's a little difference. I don't want to give you the whole scoop here, but that's getting there. It's a little longer than you want to go for it.
Hey, Pete, just a clarification for me. You said that Dwayne Brown is looking to get something done on Wednesday, and you mean practice on Wednesday. Did I hear that correct?
Yeah, well, I'm listening. I got somebody on this shoulder and somebody on this shoulder. I'm hearing what Dwayne's saying, and I know what the docs are saying. So we'll see what happens. They're a little more cautious than he is. He's aggressively wanting to go for it. If he can, he's going to be on the field on Wednesday. But we'll see what happens. We may have to protect him from himself in this regard.
How do you feel George has handled the last 2 weeks?
He's done fine. He's done a nice job. Our pass protection was really solid in this game. We did a good job. I don't know what their plan was in terms of rushing the passer, but Russ had a lot of time to hold the football back there when he needed to, and he waited some out. In that, he threw a lot of balls away. He threw a dozen balls away in this game, to avoid a sack or avoid a bad situation. But he was able to do that for the most part because he had a good look at things, and they covered us up pretty good, and so. George is a big part of that. He's out there on the edge, and he came through again.
The way that Jamarco has been playing, does that impact the way that you handle DJ's situation?
Yeah, somewhat, because he's competing and he's done well. That means that he's raised the question: does he deserve to play, and should he start? He played terrific for us for 3 weeks in a row now. So it's a good situation for us. It's competitive as it can be, and DJ's got to come back raring to go, which he is. His attitude's great. He can't wait to get back out there. So we'll see what it all means. We'll let you know at the end of the week, really.
And what about the way that Jamarco has impressed you the most?
He's been really poised, been really consistent. And didn't get rattled by the situation, the guys he's going against, the calls we've made, the checks. We've not had to, scale back at all for him because he, didn't have the awareness. He was on his stuff, and everybody's gonna have a couple plays. He got a whiff one time on pass protection, but for the most part, he's got his hands on people and he's staying on his feet and doing a good job. So he's just been impressive. It's probably most impressive. It just has been no big deal. He just handled it, and he's out there playing. He played as big a program as you can play in college, and the crowd, the stadium, the fans, the pressure, whatever, he chilled. It didn't even bother him at all. So he played like he's capable, and that was impressive.
I think we asked this before, but you guys never envisioned him as a guard, right?
No, but everybody that comes to the program's got to be versatile, to help their chances of helping. So before too long, we started messing around with him. But we have in mind the big guards, the giant guys in there with 340 something and 350 something, with our guys in there. And he wasn't that as big as those guys, but he's played big and he's played strong. So he's done a nice job.
For Jaron to play 50 snaps in this game, and how do you think he held up for one, and how do you think he played in those instances?
He did hold up. He feels fine today coming off it. I mean, this was the day that you think he might be just hobbling around because he got banged up. He didn't. He came through it in great fashion. He's really his mentality is great. He was really strong at the point of attack. He was clean in his techniques. We missed a couple opportunities in pass rush stuff that it's going to come through the communication and all that. Brand new, two guys working together, whichever either side he was on. Brand new conversations and all that that you really can't recapture in 3-4 days' time. It takes a while. But we're on it, and the acceleration of this should go light speed. We should be able to roll. And I just couldn't be more fired up that he came back like he did, performed like he did, and feels like he did coming out of the game, too. So it's as positive as we can get.
How close was he to being able to go, and where is he going to be for you this week?
It's a day-to-day deal. you know, he's got an ankle that he's got to come back from. He's going to be somewhat like Dwayne. He's going to want to come back Wednesday, Thursday or so, and see if he can get back out there. We're going to need to see him, see that he can get off, and, you know, put some pressure on it and all that kind of stuff. We won't. I don't think we'll be able to go all the way to game time, not play him at all during the week, and then just see if he can play. I don't see that that's happening. I think we need to get him to work during the week so he can prove that he's okay.
Doesn't count, obviously, but does it show you something about Tyler Lockett that he's making diving catches 5 yards out of the end zone?
I thought that was a really impressive play. No, matter of fact, I thought that one in particular, he caught another one. You know, I mean, another great catch. You know, okay, it wasn't. It would have worked up in British Columbia or something, but not here. You know, he had to go in the other league. But I caught it going into the wall too. You know, it was awesome. He's been spectacular. His play has just been spectacular, and the connection with Russ, as we saw again and again, you know, it's the throw down the middle was a phenomenal throw and catch. No, I mean, that's something that, you know, that's about as challenging a play under the full blitz situation that happened and all that as you can make. And, you know, so I can't wait to see what he does next.
Anything else?
Yes. Do you feel the mentor side of you feel compelled to help Dan Quinn or talk to him or going through with him?
No, not really. No, not this week. No, he's on his own right now. I'll be happy to talk to him next week.
Have you kept in touch with him since he's gone?
Yeah, we have. Over time, yeah, we have. And we take a couple chances during the off season to visit and stuff like that and talk about stuff and to see what's going on and kick around the questions and the issues that are happening. You know, he had big changes in his staff this year and he had a lot to go through there. Yeah, I mean, I care tremendously about how he's doing and all that, but not this week, you know.
Can you imagine being a defensive coordinator and a head coach at the same time?
Yeah, I did it at SC. Yeah.
How did you, in the NFL, how would that work?
Yeah, you can do it. I mean, if you can do an offense, you can do it on defense. You know, you need really good staff members to make sure that you know they can pull you through the times when you're not available. But you can do it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.